Live. All right, welcome to the Special Committee on Impeachment Inquiry this Tuesday, June 20th. And we are this afternoon considering going to vote on whether to issue a subpoena for certain information in the matter of Sheriff John Lavoie. I'll turn it over to Legislative Counsel. Oh, geez. Sorry, Sheriff John Grismore. Thank you very much. You know, Johns, so many Johns.
This is Mike O'Grady with Legislative Counsel. As you are aware and as you approved, you hired Downtrack and Martin to do a factual investigation of the allegations against Sheriff John Grismore. They have initiated that investigation and they have made requests to the state auditor and the accountant/auditor that had contracted with the state auditor. The accountant auditor that contracted with the state auditor is willing to provide the information that was used to develop the memo submitted to the state auditor, but they want a subpoena so that they can assert that any confidentiality that or agreements that they have with the auditor is superseded by the subpoena. The question then becomes, how do you want to exercise your subpoena authority? In HR 11, you are authorized to require by subpoena or otherwise the attendance and testimony of any person and the production of documents and other items of any kind. You can do that in I think, one of two ways. You can, for each time you want to authorize the use of subpoena, you can have a vote to authorize that use by Downs-Racklin, or alternatively, you can vote to delegate effectively your subpoena authority to Downs-Racklin for them to exercise it when necessary in the conduct of the investigation and within the scope of the work of their investigation.
So we probably want to do the latter because we're not going to be able to gather everybody. We have a meeting on the 27th and not again until the 14th. And I know that people will be unavailable.
And I just checked with the House clerk to see if this met her muster. She said her preference would be individually, but she understands because of the quorum requirements and the meeting requirements, and the fact that you might need to use the subpoena authority more than the 3 times that you are allowed to vote remotely, that she understands and would approve the use of the delegation.
So let's talk about the first subpoena first, because I think we can go ahead and vote on that one since we're all here.
Yeah.
And then maybe delegate. Yes.
Can I ask a question? Thank you. Could we ask that they just let us know anytime they're subpoenaing information?
Yeah, you could make that motion that the delegation is predicated or conditioned on them informing you first of their intent to use it. And then if you have any objection, you can object at that time.
So I think so rather than delegate to them, we could delegate it to one of us. I would be willing to be that person. So we are kept in that way, a little tighter rein over it, perhaps. I mean, what do folks think?
I'm way more comfortable with that than I am giving away our power. Let's.
I think we'll do that. And I would
just sit in the chair
and I would inform folks whenever we have, I've been keeping you all in the loop about things anyway, but I would inform if we get any more subpoena requests.
I'd like to know what our legislative.
That's actually a model that's used by the ethics panel in the past. So if you want to follow that, that's.
Okay.
Right.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this subpoena, what we need to know for the subpoena for the accountant. Or have you told us what's sufficient, that we're going to seek the documents that?
I think I can provide, it's the background documents that were used in the audit of the financial accounting at the Franklin County Sheriff's Office and the issues that were identified in those documents.
Okay.
I really only have a broad understanding right now of what those are.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
So is there a report ready right now?
There is a short memo that was provided by the auditor to the state auditor from the McSorley accounting / auditing firm to the state auditor under a contract. That has been provided. Downs Rockland has that memo, but they would like the underlying information that informed the memo so that they can do their own financial review of those documents.
Can we see the memo yet?
You will see it. I think you can probably see it whenever you would like. It's going to be part of the report and what's produced as part of the report.
I'm not desperate to see it, but I would like us to have access to it at some point.
Yes, you will.
And who's the accounting firm?
It's McSorley McCoy.
A Vermont firm?
Yeah, they're in South Burlington, I believe.
So I assume that all the documents that they have that leads to their investigative report at Down Rackland Martin, we would have access to those.
Right, they would provide them. You're probably going to have a confidentiality agreement between Downs Rockland and McSorley, which I think is advisable because you don't know what's in these records as of yet.
Right.
And they need to do their due diligence under their professional conduct board and not provide that unless under required by law.
This is a public meeting, so you can.
Okay.
But we are live.
Hi, everyone.
So any other questions on this? If not, I'll take a motion to approve issuance of a subpoena. And we'll go through the logistics of how that's done.
Sure, the logistics of how it's done in the past, just using past precedent, you've authorized it, and whomever you've authorized to issue it, and say the ethics panel, it was the chair of the ethics panel, he and his staff would draft it, sign it, and issue it, and that's basically how the subpoena authority was exercised.
So would you work with Downs Rackland
Yes.
to figure out exactly what the language in the subpoena would be?
Yes, I've already provided them with the skeleton of prior legislative subpoenas, because each subpoena is going to be different, because each subpoena you're issuing it to a different person and you're seeking different information. And so that's why you have to kind of either delegate it as you are proposing or do it on a
So maybe the motion is to delegate to me even on this because I need to work with you.
Yes.
For the actual language. So rather than, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll move that the special committee delegates subpoena authority to the chair, acknowledging that he'll notify the committee when seeking to issue a subpoena.
And I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor, raise your hand. And nobody's opposed. We're all set. So whenever you want to send me what I need to look at.
For Tim,
take a look at.
Tim's going to draft a first draft tonight and send it to me tomorrow. I'll review and send to you. I'll send this what Tim sent to me. So
Okay. All right. So now I do know what I'm going to do tomorrow when we're not.
You're working.
All right. Thank you very much. We can adjourn until next